The story begins with a shocking discovery. The Homeowners Association, HOA, a body meant to regulate and manage community standards, has brazenly overstepped its authority by constructing 35 homes on your privately owned land. This land, perhaps inherited or painstakingly acquired, represents years of personal investment, dreams, and plans, possibly a sprawling rural estate or a pristine parcel reserved for future development. Without your consent, the HOA, driven by greed, mismanagement, or a blatant disregard for property laws, initiated this large-scale project. You might have been away, perhaps living in another city or country, unaware of the encroachment until the damage was done. The audacity of the act is compounded by the scale. 35 homes suggest a full-fledged housing development, complete with roads, utilities, and infrastructure, all built on land you legally own. The betrayal stings deeply. You trusted the system to respect your rights, only to find that bureaucratic overreach or corruption has led to this violation. You likely discovered this through a chance visit to the property, a notification from a concerned neighbor, or legal documents revealing the encroachment. The emotional toll is immense: anger, disbelief, and a sense of powerlessness as you confront the reality of your land being transformed without your knowledge. Legal battles loom on the horizon, with the HOA possibly claiming eminent domain, forged permits, or other dubious justifications. You consult lawyers, surveyors, and local authorities, uncovering a web of paperwork errors or outright fraud. The homes stand as a mocking symbol of your lost control, each one a monument to the HOA's arrogance. Your resolve hardens as you realize that standard legal recourse might take years, with no guarantee of justice. This point sets the stage for the escalating conflict, highlighting the injustice of the HOA's actions and your growing determination to reclaim what is rightfully yours. The land, once a sanctuary or a legacy, is now a battleground, and you begin to explore options beyond the courtroom to address this egregious wrong. The stage is set for a dramatic response, as the violation of your property rights cannot go unanswered. Faced with the HOA's audacious land grab, you decide to take matters into your own hands, choosing a radical and irreversible course of action, opening a dam to flood the encroached upon land. This decision is not made lightly. It's the culmination of frustration, betrayal, and a refusal to let the HOA's actions stand unchallenged. Perhaps your land is near a river or reservoir, and you have access to a dam, maybe an old structure you own or control, built years ago for irrigation or flood management. The dam becomes your instrument of justice, a tool to undo the HOA's unauthorized development. You might have spent sleepless nights weighing the consequences, consulting with trusted allies, or even attempting one last negotiation with the HOA, only to be met with dismissal or arrogance. The act of opening the dam is both symbolic and literal, a release of pent-up rage and a reclamation of your agency. You envision the water rushing forth, unstoppable, washing away the foundations of the 35 homes built on your land. The logistics are daunting. You ensure the dam's mechanisms are functional, perhaps hiring an engineer or relying on your own expertise to execute the plan. You consider the timing, perhaps choosing a moment when the homes are unoccupied to minimize harm, though the destruction of property is inevitable. The moral weight of this decision presses on you. You're not a villain, but a landowner pushed to the brink by an unjust system. As you pull the lever or press the button to release the water, you feel a mix of dread and resolve. The act is a statement that no one can steal your land without consequence. You might reflect on the irony. The HOA, which prides itself on order and control, is about to face nature's chaos unleashed by your hand. This moment is the turning point of the story, where you transition from victim to agent of change, using the dam as a tool to restore balance. The water's flow represents your refusal to be silenced, a dramatic escalation that will force the HOA and the community to confront the consequences of their actions. You stand firm, knowing this act will spark controversy, legal battles, and perhaps even admiration from others who've suffered under similar overreaches. The dam's gates are open, and the water surges across the land, flooding the 35 homes built by the HOA. The aftermath is both catastrophic and cathartic. The homes, once symbols of the HOA's overreach, are now inundated, their foundations eroded, and their structures damaged beyond repair. The flood is a spectacle, drawing attention from neighbors, local media, and authorities. You watch from a safe distance, perhaps from a hill overlooking the land, as the water reshapes the landscape, erasing the HOA's ill-gotten gains. The emotional weight of this moment is complex: satisfaction at reclaiming your land, but also sorrow for the destruction, even if it was justified. The HOA is thrown into chaos, with board members scrambling to respond, blaming each other, or attempting to pin the disaster on you. Legal repercussions follow swiftly. You face lawsuits, accusations of reckless endangerment, or environmental violations, but you've prepared for this, armed with evidence of the HOA's initial wrongdoing. Public opinion is divided. Some see you as a hero standing up to a corrupt system, while others view you as a vigilante. Social media buzzes with debates, and posts on platforms like X amplify your story, turning it into a viral tale of justice. You might engage with supporters or critics, explaining that the HOA left you no choice. The flood also prompts a broader reckoning. Investigations into the HOA's practices reveal forged documents, ignored surveys, or bribed officials, vindicating your actions. Over time, the land begins to recover, the water receding to reveal a blank slate where you can rebuild your vision. The resolution might not be tidy. Perhaps you settle with the HOA for compensation, or the courts rule in your favor, recognizing your property rights. Alternatively, the story ends with you standing on your reclaimed land, the dam now silent, as you plan a new future for the property, free from external control. The flood becomes a legend, a warning to others about the consequences of violating property rights. Your actions spark change, perhaps inspiring reforms in HOA governance or stronger protections for landowners. The story closes with a sense of triumph tempered by reflection, as you've reclaimed your land but at a cost, forever altering the landscape and your place in the community.